The air in Columbus, Ohio was electric. Excitement buzzed through the city as fans poured in from every direction, their hopes and dreams for a new season painted on their faces. The anticipation was almost tangible, a feeling that only college football can bring. The Ohio State Buckeyes, defending national champions, were back on the field. Every player wore the weight of expectation, knowing the eyes of the nation were upon them. Their warm-ups were sharp, focused, and full of purpose. Their first test? The #1 Texas Longhorns. Texas arrived with swagger, determined to prove they belonged at the top, and ready to spoil the Buckeyes' homecoming. The horseshoe was packed with over 100,000 fans in scarlet and gray. The roar of the crowd echoed for miles, a sea of energy and tradition that made the stadium feel alive. This wasn't just a game, it was a statement. Both teams knew that tonight would set the tone for the entire season, and neither was willing to back down. Ohio State wanted to prove last year was no fluke. Coaches reminded the team of their legacy, urging them to play for each other, for the fans, and for the history of the program. Texas wanted revenge after last year's playoff loss. Their fans traveled hundreds of miles, hungry for redemption, and their players carried that fire onto the field. The stage was set for an epic showdown. The coin toss felt like the calm before a storm, as both teams locked eyes, ready for battle. All week the talk was about high-powered offenses, but from the first snap, defense took center stage. Every yard was earned, every play contested with ferocity. The Buckeyes ran onto the field with the heart of champions. Their entrance sent chills through the stadium, a reminder of what it means to wear the scarlet and gray. The crowd roared, the band played, and the energy was off the charts. Every note, every cheer, every chant added to the spectacle of college football at its finest. Every play felt like it could decide the season. The tension on the sidelines was palpable, as coaches and players lived and died with every snap. Texas came to knock the champs off their throne. Their defense played with a chip on their shoulder, determined to make a statement of their own. But Ohio State had a mission: prove their championship culture was built on toughness and grit. Every tackle, every stop, was a testament to their relentless spirit. From the opening whistle, every hit was harder, every play more intense. The physicality on display was a reminder that championships are won in the trenches. The Buckeyes were ready to defend their title, and they knew their defense would have to lead the way. Their unity and focus were clear as they prepared for each snap. This was the moment they'd been waiting for since last year's final whistle. Every player remembered the feeling of victory and the pressure to repeat it. A win here would send a message to the entire country. Ohio State was here to stay. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the Buckeyes knew it. The battle lines were drawn, and the season began with a clash of titans. Every fan in the stadium could feel the magnitude of the moment. The real story was about to unfold on the defensive side of the ball. In a game filled with stars and storylines, it would be the grit, heart, and determination of these players that would define the night, and perhaps the season ahead. The first half was a defensive slugfest, a true test of grit and determination on both sides of the ball. Every yard was earned, every play contested, and neither team was willing to give an inch. Neither offense could break through the relentless pressure. Each drive was a battle, with both teams' defensive lines dominating the trenches and forcing punts. The biggest moment came late in the second quarter. Texas at the Ohio State 1-yard line, 4th and goal. The tension was palpable, the stakes enormous. The crowd held its breath, thousands of fans frozen in anticipation, knowing this play could define the half. Texas went for the touchdown, handing the ball to Arch Manning on a quarterback sneak. The Longhorns put their trust in their star quarterback to break through. But the Buckeye defense was ready, their eyes locked on the ball, every player anticipating the snap with laser focus. Manning was met by a wall of scarlet and gray, the Ohio State defenders crashing forward with everything they had. The pile stopped moving. Whistles blew, echoing through the stadium as players untangled at the goal line. The officials signaled, short of the goal line. The stadium erupted in a roar, Buckeye fans leaping to their feet in celebration. Ohio State's defense had made a legendary stand, a moment that would be replayed for years to come. That play was a turning point, showing the Buckeyes' toughness, discipline, and unbreakable will in the face of adversity. No points were scored, but it felt like a victory, one that sent a message to both teams about who controlled the line of scrimmage. The defense had protected their end zone against the top team in the country. refusing to let Texas cross the line. The offense returned, fired up by the stop, their confidence renewed by the defense's heroics. The message was clear: scoring on Ohio State would be the hardest thing Texas did all season. The Buckeyes had drawn a line in the sand. The Buckeyes' defense had set the tone, their intensity and unity echoing through every play that followed. The crowd's energy surged, fueling the team and creating an electric atmosphere that made every moment feel monumental. Texas was stunned. Ohio State was emboldened. The sideline buzzed with excitement, and momentum had clearly shifted. The first half ended with the Buckeyes' defense as the story, their stand at the goal line the defining moment so far. The battle was far from over, but Ohio State had drawn first blood, setting the stage for an epic second half. The nation was watching, and the Buckeyes delivered, proving their mettle on the biggest stage. What made this defensive stand remarkable? It wasn't just the result on the scoreboard, it was the story behind the lineup. This was a unit with 8 new starters, a group that had never played together in a game of this magnitude. Only 3 veterans returned to anchor the defense: safety Caleb Downs, cornerback Davison Igbinosun, and linebacker Sonny Styles. These 3 were the backbone, providing experience and poise when it mattered most. These leaders set the tone for a new-look defense, rallying the younger players and showing them what it means to wear the scarlet and gray. Caleb Downs was everywhere, tackling, covering, directing traffic. He played with the instincts of a seasoned veteran, always in the right place at the right time, and his energy was contagious. His calm confidence spread to the entire unit. When things got tense, Downs was the steady hand, keeping everyone focused and locked in. Igbinosun took on Texas's best receivers and made a game-saving play in the fourth quarter, breaking up a pass in the end zone. His physicality and awareness were crucial in the game's biggest moments. The new starters played like veterans, trusting their coaching and each other. They communicated, adjusted, and never looked overwhelmed by the spotlight. Ohio State's next-man-up culture was on full display. No matter who stepped onto the field, the standard never slipped. The standard of excellence didn't drop, even with so many fresh faces. Every player was ready for the moment, prepared to do their job. The defense played with fire, discipline, and unity. They swarmed to the ball, tackled as a team, and celebrated every stop together. They proved that tradition matters, and that the Buckeyes' defensive legacy is alive and well, no matter who's wearing the jersey. Every player rose to the occasion, making key plays and feeding off the energy of the crowd and their teammates. The message was clear. It doesn't matter who's on the field, the Buckeye defense is always elite. The tradition is bigger than any one player. This was a new era, but the same relentless spirit. The Buckeyes' defense showed the world that they're ready for any challenge, and their legacy is in good hands. Behind the Buckeyes' defensive dominance was new coordinator Matt Patricia. Patricia, fresh from the NFL and 3 Super Bowls, brought a pro mindset to college football. His debut game plan was a masterpiece, confusing and pressuring Arch Manning with shifting looks and relentless schemes. Texas's offense never found a rhythm. Head coach Ryanday credited Patricia's preparation and calm leadership for the win. Patricia praised his players, especially field general Caleb Downs. The trust between coach and defense was clear. Patricia's NFL experience translated instantly, making Ohio State's defense one of the most feared in the country. The Buckeyes executed every call with discipline. Patricia's arrival signaled a new standard for Ohio State defense. His first game, a resounding success. For fans, this game felt like déjà vu. Just last year, Ohio State beat Texas in the playoff semifinal with a game-saving defensive play. Jacksawyer's strip sack and touchdown sealed that win. Now, in the season opener, the Buckeyes' defense again stood tall in the biggest moments. Fourth down stops echoed last year's heroics. This is Ohio State's identity clutch, relentless defense. Beating Texas 2 years in a row with game-saving stops shows rare mental toughness. The Buckeyes thrive under pressure. For Texas, it was heartbreak. For Ohio State, confirmation that their championship formula still works. Defense is in their DNA. The tradition of making history continues. For most of the game, Texas's offense was stifled. Arch Manning was pressured, receivers blanketed, and the Buckeyes' defense dominated. With under 4 minutes left, Texas finally found life. Manning led a desperate drive, moving quickly downfield. The Longhorns scored with 3, 28 left, making it 14-7. The touchdown avoided a shutout and gave Texas hope. Suddenly, it was a one-score game. The Texas sideline erupted, believing in a comeback. The pressure shifted to Ohio State's offense and defense. Texas had shown heart, refusing to quit, but it took nearly 57 minutes to break through the Buckeyes' wall. The late score made the game close, but everyone knew Ohio State's defense had controlled the day. The Buckeyes had bent but never broke. The final minutes would decide everything. After the Texas touchdown, the game hung in the balance. Texas got the ball back near midfield with under 2 minutes left. The horseshoe was deafening. Texas faced 4th and 5, their season on the line. Arch Manning fired a quick pass to tight end Jack Endries. For a moment, it looked like a first down. But Caleb Downs, the Buckeyes' star safety, closed in and made a textbook tackle. The referees measured, 2 yards short, game over. Ohio State's defense had stopped Texas on 4th down for the 4th time. The stadium exploded in celebration. Players rushed the field. Downs' clutch play sealed the win. The Buckeyes had toppled the #1 team. It was a perfect ending for a defensive masterpiece. The season started with a statement. The Buckeyes' defense had delivered when it mattered most. While defense stole the show, the offenses shaped the outcome. Texas's rookie quarterback, Arch Manning, struggled under relentless pressure. The Longhorns managed just 1 late touchdown, failing on all 4 4th-down tries. Missed opportunities deep in Buckeye territory proved costly. For Ohio State, new quarterback Julian Sayin played smart and safe. No turnovers, 13 completions, 1 touchdown. The Buckeyes' offense wasn't flashy, but it was efficient. They protected the ball and let their defense shine. 2 touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 rushing, were enough. Coach Ryanday called a game that played to his team's strengths. The Buckeyes showed they could win ugly or pretty. The lesson in big games: protect the football and trust your defense. Ohio State's balanced approach paid off. The formula worked: gritty, disciplined, and victorious. This win was a statement. Ohio State's defense is for real. Beating the top-ranked team sets the tone for the season. The Buckeyes' new faces gained confidence and experience. The victory will boost their ranking and title hopes. For Texas, it's a tough lesson. But the season is long. They'll need to grow, especially Arch Manning, to contend again. All eyes are now on Ohio State's defense, led by Matt Patricia and Caleb Downs. The road to the championship runs through Columbus. The standard is set: relentless, suffocating defense. The Buckeyes are ready for anyone who dares to challenge them.